Brenda Smith, and I'm the conservator at the MacKenzie Art Gallery. My main goal is preservation of artwork and minimizing the deterioration that can occur to it. Here at the MacKenzie Art Gallery, we have one conservator, which is me, and I work on everything. So I'm what's called a generalist. I will work on paper objects, photographs, some wood, ceramics, paintings, you name it. This piece here is by Edit Ivan, and it had been adhered in its past with Scotch tape to something, and Scotch tape is just a terrible thing to use for fixing your documents or pinning them to other things, because the adhesive becomes more brittle over time and more yellowed and can cause staining right through your object. So on this piece I had to take the Scotch tape off of the back, and then I had to reduce the stains in a water bath. In this case it was fine to do that because it's done pencil and graphite, and so that was fine to go in the water bath, and then I repaired a few small tears. So this piece is now ready to be rematted and be used in the collection. When people ask what conservators use, what kind of tools they use in their treatments, we borrow from everybody, everywhere, whenever we see something that we think is useful. So, for example, we do use dental tools used from cleaning your teeth, sometimes when we're shaping fills and things like that. Recently I was working on something where I needed a really fine needle, and I found that you know, ordinary needles or pin needles and things like that, the ends were actually still too big, too fat. I was working under the microscope, and I thought, well, I'm just going to try a syringe needle. And the way that the syringe is shaped, even though I'm not using it to inject anything, it's so fine and pointed at the end that it was much better than a regular needle. And yesterday I was at the orthodontist, and he was about to file my teeth a little bit, which we won't talk about that. But when he went to do it and I saw what he was using, my mind immediately went, what's that? Maybe I could use that at work. And so I even have a sample of, it's just very fine, small, but stiff. It's kind of metallic on the other side, and you can even get double-sided sandpaper. So I have to figure out what to try it out on, but I'm sure that I'm going to find a use for this somewhere over regular sandpaper. Most things I work on are interesting to me because they're all kind of like puzzles that I have to solve, and you always feel that you've done something good for the object in the end, or you hope that you have. But some of the fun things or fun at the end things that I've worked on are when I have to take off a really discolored varnish or something is really dirty. It's like, for me, I mean, because it is a visual experience that I'm having really when I'm doing things, and so when you have a real visual difference, it's wonderful. So, for example, I once worked on a piece from a restaurant downtown where people had been smoking, and if you think of like the grease from cooking and everything, for 30 years. It was a Ted Godwin painting, and the color of it when I started, the whole painting had kind of a overall ochre color, and then when I started doing the testing, I was just like absolutely amazed that the color underneath was totally different. Like there was no indication until you started cleaning it how filthy it was, and then the ending color anyway, it was fabulous.